I think to truly be evil, that Mini should have a tail, retractable horns, and maybe a pitchfork somewhere. Even though I'm kind of kidding, that is the thing about car customization these days. The limits are literally set by the scope of your imagination. Now, it definitely took some imagination with an equal dose of madness to found the sport of drifting. Last week we learned a little bit about the judgment criteria. This week we're going to catch up with Carl Nadeau to learn more about the innovations that he's implementing to his 2010 car. Okay, so what specifically do you need to do to make sure that your car is safe and durable? Because after qualifying in each race, you have to race in tandem basically until you're eliminated. So what do you do to make sure this is going to make it through a whole season?
Funny thing is, the total track time in drifting is different than road racing or any other motorsport, because basically our runs are pretty quick. Like we run for 60, 90 seconds and then we stop. So people would think that it's easier for the car. Well, it's totally different. You need a good engine builder. In my case, I'm using a guy that's 50-year-old. He's built racing engine all his life. And every time we talk together, it's Tom from TK Race. He always tell me, well, Carl, damn, it's hard on the engine. The engine comes from a Corvette, which is an LS6 engine. It's built with high compression and everything, so it's really powerful. We're talking 450 to 500 at the wheel, so there's a lot of power in it. We did something different. We're using an electric water pump. Nobody does that so far. It's a bit expensive, but the good thing is the flow of the press tone, it transits better, so less
power,
less problem.
Got it.
And it takes less power from the engine. Other things, we're using an external oil pump. It allows us to not have oil starvation. So basically, in a corner, you're not going to run out of oil pumped in the engine.
Okay.
So it saves the engine on the long run. This year, I decided to go with BMW M3. What I like about BMW platform, they're using thicker metal than other manufacturer. Where the suspension pickup points are on the car, it's really strong. So basically, it's a chassis that is going to give me good performance because it's very solid and rigid. So there's not too much torsion in the chassis. One thing we have to achieve is super big angle in a corner. Imagine you're running 100 plus kilometers an hour sideways. If you run out of steering angle, you're going to spin and lose it. So we have to modify it. We're going to play with those parts specifically. What we call the knuckle, which is where the place the shock is bolted. We're going to modify it a lot in order to achieve bigger angle. We're changing the table, so the car is going to be a bit wider. So my wheel is going to be able to turn more toward the frame. Because if you add steering angle and the wheel doesn't stick out, my tire is going to rub on the frame and they're going to just lock. So there's no point of getting bigger angle if you can't use it.
I don't know a lot about drifting, but this cannot be normal.
Absolutely not normal. So basically we relocated the radiator. Since we have an electric water pump in the front, it helps to transit the fluid better. But putting the radiator in the trunk allows us to put more fans and it gives more clearance in the front. So in case of crash, we have more crash zone in the front, and in the back it's gonna transit air better. So basically the engine's gonna be cooler.
So this way, things will stay super cool.
Exactly, and we have a new mechanic on the team.